I want to let you know, it's okay to be afraid. Was I afraid when I found a lump doing my self-breast exam? Yes, I was terrified. I teach my patients, I'm a nurse midwife, I teach my patients to do breast exams, and it doesn't have to be just the women. We're finding more and more breast cancer in men nowadays. To do self-breast exams, do it often enough that you get used to what your breast tissue feels like, so if there's ever a change, you are going to notice. I found a lump one night. I have insomnia. I found a lump. It was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. It had never been there before. I had fibrocystic breasts for over 20 years. This lump was different, and that's what I tell my patients. It will be different. You will notice the difference. So get used to doing your breast exam so you know what your breasts normally feel like. I was afraid 2 days later when I went for a diagnostic mammogram. I knew in my heart what the results were going to be, but I was still fearful. The day after that, my radiologist called me. We've known each other for years. He called me himself to tell me what my results were, and they weren't good. The next day, I saw Dr. Loyola in the doctor's lounge at the hospital at St. Lucie Medical Center, and I told him I had an appointment with him to have my biopsy the following week. He said, "No, you can't wait. I get done with surgery at 5. You're going to meet me in my office, and we're going to do your biopsy tonight." That was a Friday evening at 5:30, and I don't know if there's any Treasure Coast surgical team still here tonight or present in the audience. Dr. Curtin is with that group. He made his girls stay after so that I could have my biopsy. I was scared to death. And he let me watch as he did the biopsy. They do it under ultrasound, and I knew it wasn't good. He had tears in his eyes, and you know when your surgeon comes in the room and has tears, you're not having a good day. I had surgery about a week and a half after that. When I went into nuclear medicine, they inject radioisotopes to track the lymph nodes easier so that they can see if there's cancer in them, to remove those affected lymph nodes. I was scared to death. I went into surgery knowing that it was going to be a long surgery, 5 hours worth. My thought as I was laying there in nuclear med, this was before they give me all the happy drugs in surgery, was that I wasn't going to wake up. I wasn't going to get to tell my son goodbye. Some of you that were at some of these presentations a couple of years ago got to see my grandson. I didn't think I'd ever see a grandchild. My son and his wife had told me when they got married they were not having kids for 4 years. And we were only 3 years into their marriage. So I didn't think I was going to live long enough to see that grandbaby. Well, he's going to be 16 months old the end of this week. And he's adorable, of course. But my point that I really want to make to everybody tonight is that, yes, you can be afraid. And as Jason was saying, the American Cancer Society offers an 800 number that you can call and talk with somebody that's been there, done that, so that you can know you're not alone. I was so fortunate. I don't have family in the area. My son's in the Air Force. My husband passed away a few years ago. But I have a family at work, both in my office and at the hospital. And I told him he was going to get talked about tonight, my personal trainer and his wife and their children. And through all of that, they were my family. They were my support. But American Cancer Society is also our family. They're there to support any of us that have to go through this. And I hope and pray through the work that you're doing with raising funds and finding new cures and finding diagnostic treatments that are going to hopefully prevent this someday, that our little 5-month-old guest in the audience is never faced with this. That's what I work for, and I hope that's what each of you are working for, is that nobody else has to be in my shoes, because I don't want you to become a part of this club. It's a club that I belong to now. I wear it proudly, but I don't want anybody else to have to go through it because it's not something that we wish on anybody. And so my goal is that you won't be afraid. Yes, you'll be afraid, but not so much that you let it control you. You have 2 responses to fear: flight or fight. And we're here to fight. Thank you.